Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Family, friends, my YouTube friends, my Facebook friends, each and everyone around the world who are following me and who are watching me. My name is DISHONESTY Official, and as I promised today, it's time for the new subject. I told you guys that I'm going to drop the new subject today, which is going to be called the triangulation. I mean, something what they call the love triangle. Now, how do love triangles work? But before I go into this subject, I want to make a very nice, I want to send out gratitude to the people who are following me on YouTube, to my subscribers. If anyone hasn't yet subscribed, I encourage you to do so. Follow my page, help me to grow, and keep on sharing the material, like and subscribe, and share with the friends. My Facebook family, the same thing. I also thank you very much for following me and for liking my page, and for liking DISHONESTY Unscripted, all in all. So I can say I can be found on YouTube. I'll say it again. I'll be found on YouTube as DISHONESTY Official, and I can also be found on Facebook as DISHONESTY Unscripted. Now today's subject is going to be triangulation. Now, before I start the triangulation chapter or the subject, I want to take you back a little bit to the beginning of the abuse, procedure, beginning of the whole thing, from the very first case of the love bombing. So you've been love bombed. At some point, you haven't been able to identify the red flags. So you have gone through the love bombing phase. So you've been love bombed, and then at the end of the day, you've been trauma bonded. So that trauma bonding, I've told you, is that case whereby your soul gets attached to your abuser, so your souls entwine together, and you become one. So you become entangled with your abuser, whereby you don't know how to get out and you cannot get out. So you've been trauma bonded, so the whole abuse procedure has gone on, and you have been so the whole abuse procedure has been carrying on for some couple of months, and you've been abused every day. You've been love bombed, you've been abused, so you've been trauma bonded, you've been gaslighted, you've been blame shifted. So all those things I've talked about them in my last video. And now there's something what I want to explain called there is something what I call a positive supply and a negative supply. So each and everybody who is involved or who gets involved with an abuser, he's offering some sort of a supply, because these people, because they are not genuine from the heart. So they are like they're looking for something like what they call fuel. It's like a car, you know what I mean? You cannot drive a car without fuel. So because these people, they are empty shells and they have nothing in them, so the only thing they have to do is to rely on other people for supply, something what I can call fuel. So they find their victims, especially the people who are empaths, and I've already explained to you who is an empath, guys, in my previous videos. So they always look out for empaths, because empaths, they're usually narcissist magnets. So they attract this kind of people because of their empathetic feelings, and because of their empathy. Those guys can always get away with everything, because they know that they can always do what they want to you. They can abuse you, they can do anything to you, and you can always forgive them, and you always ignore their abuse. And sometimes you can take them back. They can always play with you, they can manipulate you, so you can't go anywhere. You know what I mean? So those guys are always looking for supply. That is what I call supply. So the supply can be so many different things. Supply can be sex. They can be looking for sex. Supply can be they can be looking for money. They can be looking for emotions. They can be looking for your properties. They can be looking for you. So they always have, because these guys, I told you guys, they are always attached to people for a reason. So they are not attached to people just, they are not the kind of guys who like just go out there and just fall in love like any other healthy mind or any other healthy human being. So they always go out, identify their sources of supply, identify their victims, go in there, love bomb them, trauma bond them, start abusing them, gaslighting and blame shifting. So examples of positive supply I can talk about: you can be giving these guys very good sex. For example, I've told you this, you can be giving them very good sex, or sometimes you can be giving them money, sometimes you can be taking them on trips. So there are so many things you can do. So that's in a good way. So that one is called positive supply, because you are supplying to them positive fuel. So negative fuel, which also we can call negative supply, this is a supply which is whereby they get your emotions from you. So for example, they abuse you and they make you very nervous, they make you very frustrated, and they make you very angry, they make you very, disappointed, they make you... So anytime when they make you to feel bad, in return they are getting some kind of feeling, because whichever emotion you're going to give back to them, for example, if a guy, a man or a woman has done something to you and you react to that incident, so you're going to react in a very, very aggressive way, because you're going to think, because remember, maybe sometimes you don't know he's a narcissist or not. So sometimes you're going to react in a negative way. So when you react in a negative way, for example, when you confront him about an incident that has happened in the home, or what he did outside, or something that he said to you, you're going to react negatively. So that negative reaction is actually what gives them the supply they need, because that is the fuel. So for these people, it doesn't matter what you do. You can do good things or you can do bad things, but whichever thing you do with them, it is either way giving them supply. So that is only what they're looking for, and that's the thing that makes them full, and it boosts their ego. And because I told you guys, these people, they're very egoistic, and they have a very, very big ego, and anytime when they abuse you and they manipulate you, you offer them in return some kind of a supply. So if they don't abuse you and they do normal things like everybody, you give them a good supply, because you laugh with them, you share with them, you have sex with them, you do their shopping for them, you wash for them their clothes, you wash for them their car. So that is called a positive supply. But anytime when you have an incident whereby you're arguing, I can call it, you're arguing together, you have a fight, you have got some kind of an incident at home and you guys are fighting together, that forms something what they call fuel for them. So it is like a negative fuel, it's a negative supply. So in one way or the other, whether you know it or you don't know it, you are giving these people some sort of a negative supply, and it makes them to feel good. You know what I mean? I've told you that these guys don't have empathy, so most of the times they don't know how to judge things correctly. So anything you do, it doesn't matter how you do it, how much you do it, whichever way you do it, anyhow, you're still being abused, and anyhow, they will never be satisfied anyway. So those are the examples I've given you about what they call positive supply and negative supply. Now what happens is, at a certain point in time, later on, I can say between a period of 3 to 6 months, you start to see, one may start to see a very negative thing about these people. They will start to have that gut instinct that something is wrong. You know what I mean? So when they start to feel this kind of thing, sometimes because already they have already been trauma bonded, so they actually don't know what is happening to them. So they just continue to carry on with the relationship. So now remember, guys, you've been supplying these people with supply. You know what I mean? You've been giving them the negative and beginning with them the positive. But because most of the cases you are an empath, and most of the cases you are a regular normal human being, you know what I mean? You don't have anything with your programming in the head like they have. So what will happen is, you're going to start to retract your fuel from them. You know what I mean? If you are giving them, for example, you've been sleeping with them 5 times a week, you're going to start to reduce the number of sexual encounters with them. So you're going to say, okay, now I'm not going to sleep with them, I'm going to sleep with them like 2 times a week, or maybe even nothing, or maybe even 1 time a week. So because remember, these guys, they've initiated a cycle whereby they're abusing you, and sometimes you're getting very, very tired, and sometimes you're getting energetically drained. So they're like draining your energy. I've told you guys already at the beginning, these people, they're energy vampires. So what happens is, now that supply, you're starting to retract your supply from them, because you're stopping to give them the initial love you used to give them because of the way they're abusing you on a daily basis, you know. So you start to retract your supply from them. You start to retract your feelings. You don't give them, you don't do the things you used to do, because somewhere you're starting to get tired of this whole situation. But I remember, guys, I've told you, you need to remember that it is very difficult to leave an abuser. It is very, very difficult to leave an abuser. So in most cases, they manipulate you, and you will always find yourself in that situation whereby you cannot get out of that situation. You want to leave them, but you can't. You go out physically, but you're still with them emotionally. You know what I mean? You can always leave them even. You can even leave them physically. You can say, I'm tired, I'm not having any more of this. So you just pack your bags and go out. You know what I mean? You just leave the house. So when you leave the house, you're going to find yourself that you have left these guys physically, but you're very, very much attached to them, because remember, you've been trauma bonded, and trauma bonding is something what concerning souls. Your souls have been intertwined together, so you cannot detach from them emotionally. You're always going to find yourself looking out for them, seeing if they are going to call you. You're going to try to go and visit the favorite restaurants you guys used to sit. You're just going to go peeping out just to see whether you can find them by accident, so that you can create a situation whereby you can maybe just see them. You know all the places they hang out, because these guys, they don't change places. The same places they go to, they will go tomorrow, they will go the other day, they will go that day. So they have regular spots to where they hang out. So when you guys detach, in any case you detach from them, you're going to find yourself, because of that trauma bond, you're going to find yourself moving again, going to those places where you guys used to hang out and used to date. Just because you have got that trauma bond in your mind, and you've got that thinking in your head that, oh, maybe by some chance, you can just, see them walking in the town, or see them walking in the, or sitting in the restaurant, or what, and sometimes remember you are very nervous, because you are thinking that maybe you've discarded them, or you've separated from them, so they could be dating somebody else. So you get that kind of anxious, anxiety, you become anxious. So you get anxiety, and you're thinking that, oh, what are they doing? Who are they dating? Who are they seeing? So you start going sneaking up on them. So anyhow, when that thing happens, we go back to the supply. Now you have started to retract your supply from them. Now what happens is, because these people, they are very clever, and they know their game, they know how they play their game, and they have done this game for a very long period of time. So what happens is, those guys, they will start to sense your detachment. They will sense that you're detaching from them. So when they sense that you're starting to detach from them, what they do, they are going to initiate some sort of a new partner. You know what I mean? They are going to bring in a new partner now. Now that thing is very tricky, because it is very hard to know that actually these guys, they are triangulating you, they are dating somebody else. It can take so long for you to realize that actually you're being cheated on. You know what I mean? But the only reason why they are doing that is because you are not giving them any more supply the way you used to give them, the way you used to fuel them up, to fuel their energy, to give them that energy they need, that supply they need. So what they do, they are going to start sneaking out of the house and going looking for new sources. So they're going to look for new people outside. It can be a man, it can be a woman. So they're going to look for potential partners. You know what I mean? Now the problem starts when they meet those people. They are going to now make it very clear. You know what? I'm in this kind of a relationship at home, but my wife is not good for me. She's always doing this. So they start to create what they call a smear campaign. They initiate what they call a smear campaign, because now they have started to see somebody, and they started to do something what they call grooming. So they have started to groom somebody. This is like preparing somebody for a relationship. You know what I mean? But outside of their victims. You know what I mean? They have left you at home. Even sometimes they're still with you, but they will just be sneaking out and going and finding those kind of irregular, I can call them irregular partners outside the house. So they will go and date those people, and then those people, now they will start to turn them against you, because what they will do, because they know those people are going to be very curious about their situations at home. Who are you with at home, this and this. So what they are going to do, they are going to start turning you against yourselves. They're going to start telling the new partner, you know what, there is this woman at home I'm dating. I've been with her like for 6 months or 7 months or 1 year, but the problem is that she's not giving me this, she's not doing this, she doesn't want to clean, she's cooking very bad food. So they are going to do some sort of what they call a smear campaign. Now in most cases, a smear campaign is initiated because what they are trying to do is that they are trying to groom. They are grooming. It's like somebody who is going to get married. You know what I mean? So you is a guy is going to get married. You want to tune them. You want to put them on their makeup. You give them that best dress. You see which dress is fitting them. So that is in the psychological term, that is called grooming. They are grooming that partner for a very long period of time, and most of the case you may know, and sometimes you may not know it. But all they are doing is that they are grooming that person now, because they are preparing that person that in case, because they have noticed that you've stopped to give them the supply you used to give them. They have noticed that one way or the other, because these guys are very insecure, you may try to jump out of the relationship. You may discard them, or you may just separate with them because maybe you're tired, they've been abusing you, and there's nothing you can do, you want to go out. So they start to groom somebody that in case you go out, they can pick up somebody and bring them in very quickly. So that's what they do, you know what I mean? So now the two people in the triangulation system, in the love triangle, there will be a new source of supply. The new partner now, what they find is the person what we can call in the psychological terms, they call them the new source of supply. And then you now, who has been with them for a period of time, you become what they call the old supply. So now these guys, they have the new supply and they have the old supply. But the whole thing what they are doing is because the new supply is always very nice. Sometimes the love is still fresh. They are still love bombing them. They're still giving them everything. They're trauma bonding them. So that cocktail is still working on the new supply. So when the new supply now they feel that that person is ready for a relationship, that is when they are going to start to prepare now to throw you out of the house, because normally they want to have the last they want to have the last say in everything. So they don't want to be discarded because they're very insecure. They don't want somebody to discard them. So what they do, they prepare, they discard themselves. Because when you discard them, this causes something what they call a narcissistic injury. So they don't have because they don't have pain like all regular people, like other normal people, regular people. So they have got a different kind of pain, which is called injury. So they get something what they call a narcissistic injury. So they cannot accept you to discard them. Normally what they do, they prepare that source of supply on the side, on the background, and they will be sleeping with them, they'll be doing with them everything. Then when those guys are now ready for them, like they're ready to start the relationship, that is when they are going to come back at home and discard you. And when they are discarding you, you'll never see it coming. They can just come in the day, at home in the day. You find your bags, they've already packed your bags, and maybe you've been at work, you just come back home and you've just found them, they've packed your bags and your bags are at the door. And they're going to tell you, you know what? Because these days you've been doing this, these days you've been, so they will do now that thing what they call the blame game. So they'll start to play a lot of blame game because they'll want to justify the discard. So they want to justify the discard. So what they do, they create something what they call a blame game. They will blame each and everything what has happened in the relationship on you, so that you can feel bad about yourself. And remember, I've already told you guys that each and every time when you feel very bad about something, it gives them fuel. So it's like it's fueling them. It's like a car. A car needs fuel, so they get some sort of a fuel from your emotions. You know what I mean? So there will be, but before they do that, before they do the discard process, they've been triangulating you, between you and other guys. Before they do a discard, they do something what they call a smear campaign. Now, because some of you remember, you have to understand that, of course, you have family. You have mothers, you have fathers, you have uncles, you have brothers, you have sisters. So these guys, what they do, they go around in your circles. But this happens towards the end of the discard, towards the end of the relationship. Because remember, anytime when the person starts triangulating you, they are preparing you for a discard. You know what I mean? So what they do, they will do something what they call a smear campaign. They are going to go to your family, to your circles, to the people who know you guys as couples, for example. They will go to those guys who know you as partners, and what they will do, they will start to talk very bad about you. You know what? When I met Patricia in the beginning, she was a very nice person, but now she started to change. She's not doing anything for me. She's not taking care of me. She's not cooking for me. She's not doing that. But in actual sense, what they're doing, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing you've done to them. You know what I mean? The only thing what they're doing is that they're looking for sympathy, because normally when they want to discard somebody, they first go out in your circles around the people who know you, and they create something what they call a smear campaign. They will talk very bad about you to your family. They will talk very bad about you to your friends. They will talk very bad about you to the people in your circle, so that they will get, those people now will start to feel bad about you and negative about you. You know what I mean? And all this smear campaign is just a trick, because they are just trying to make sure that when they reach that moment of discarding you, they can justify that discard. So when they just get up one day and they have thrown you out of the house, because those guys, they don't give a warning. They are not people who ring a bell that, okay, it's now time to go. You just wake up in the morning and you just find your clothes. They've packed your clothes and your clothes are waiting for you at the door. Or sometimes they've already even thrown out your things out of the house. You just come back home and they'll just they just come on the wind and they tell you, you know what, the relationship is finished. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. I want us to separate. I want you to leave. I want you to do this. So they will make sure that you leave the house. And normally, in most cases, when they say you should leave, in most cases, when the person has been abusing you, you have got to be very sure that they have got somebody on the side, somebody that they have already been grooming and preparing for that relationship, because they want, when they throw you out, because these guys, because they have a programming in their head that they cannot be alone. They don't have that programming. They are very scared to be alone, because that is like it destroys their ego. You know what I mean? So it's like they cannot be alone at home. They cannot be alone. They cannot feel alone. It causes something what they call a narcissistic injury. So what they do, they groom that person and they prepare you for discard. But when they're preparing you for a discard, what they do, they first of all triangulate you with somebody for a couple of months. Sometimes triangulation can take years even. A person can triangulate you for 3, 4, 5, sometimes even a period of a year. So they can triangulate you in that kind of situation whereby the person what I've told you, the new guy or the new woman, the new supply who is going to give them the fresh supply, you know what I mean? So that person, they have been grooming them on the side. You know what I mean? You have been at home, sometimes you don't know about it. Sometimes even you know about it, but sometimes you don't know about it. So they are grooming that person and preparing that person so that when you go out of the house, when you leave the house, immediately when you leave, they are going to bring that person very quickly. They don't have time. These people do not have a moment of healing. They don't know what is healing. They don't know what is recovering. They don't know what is mourning. They don't mourn because they don't have feelings. They are just empty shells. I've told you guys, they're just people who are empty shells. They do not have any feelings in themselves. So what they do, they groom somebody on the side for a couple of period of time, and then they start to do what they call, they start to do the process of the discard at home. Now whenever they come back at home, they are going to blame you for very stupid things. Look at this, you're looking like that, you're doing like this, why are you doing this? So they will try to make the whole thing, it's like something what they call, they will create something that like a turmoil in the house. You know, they will create a turmoil whereby it is going to completely disorganize everything. It is going to destroy and disorganize the whole house. You know what I mean? Because the only thing they are doing is that they are preparing you to discard you. So when they start that kind of thing of shouting and barking and screaming and blaming and doing this and everything, every dirty act you've ever thought about, the only thing they are doing is that they are preparing to discard you because they have already got a new supply who they want to put in your place. In most cases, they have been grooming that person for a very long period of time, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you know, sometimes even 1 year. So they will now discard you, throw you out of the house, and before you know it, before you even know actually what has happened, because sometimes when they are discarding you, you will never see it coming. They will never give you a warning. They do not want to give you a warning because the whole secret is that when they give you a warning, they know that you are going to leave them before they say the final word. So they want always to say the final word. That's why when they are coming to discard you, they don't give you a warning. They prepare you, throw you out of the house. The next day, you might even want to come back. Maybe you forgot your shoes, you forgot something in your house, or you forgot something, they've already thrown you out. You are going to find a new partner in the house. So that's what those people do. It is their programming. It is how they do their thing. It is something to do with the disorder. You know what I mean? So they do not have that period of mourning, of grieving, of recovering. They don't have that thing of, because in their inside, the inside of them is completely empty. They don't have anything inside. They don't have any emotions and any empathy. They don't have any empathy. They are dry, empty shells. You know what I mean? So the reason why they do that, I want to explain now that process of the discard. The reason why they do the discard is that they want to discard you in that way, whereby it is going to shock you. A discard is the most dangerous thing that can ever happen to somebody. If somebody has not sat with you in a healthy way and explained to you why you guys need to separate, you have agreed, okay, let's separate, let's do this, you separate peacefully. If a person just discards you, that thing can haunt you for the rest of your life. If you're not a strong guy, or if you're not a strong person, you know, you can be completely mentally tortured, you know what I mean? And that's what they want, because they want something that will torture you very deeply, you know what I mean? So the purpose of the discard now, when they discard you in this kind of way. They create that scenario whereby they just throw you out of that relationship so that you will have you don't have closure, because when anybody who is discarded in that kind of way, they do not have closure. So you have not had the chance to sit with them and close the case. You know what I mean? So most of the time you will keep on peeping back to them. You know, sometimes you will see them with a new partner. You will be jealous about them. You know, you're feeling jealous about their new partner. They'll be saying, hey, you know, it's me. I told you this before. You didn't listen to me. I told you this. So they'll keep on blaming you. You know what I mean? But the only thing they are doing, because they are always not secure about themselves, they don't feel good and secure about themselves. So the only thing they are doing when they discard you, they are preparing you so that when they need you, when you go outside and you recover and you rehabilitate yourself, you get back on you get back your shit together, you get back on your feet, then they will prepare you now to bring you back and then discard the new supply now. You know what I mean? So this thing is like a game. They will bring the new supply in the relationship, then they discard you. No, they will discard you and bring the new supply. So then you will take some few months recovering, crying, recovering, doing this, healing and this and that. Now the new supply, because this is a cycle, so they will start the same thing with the new supply. They will start abusing the new supply. So when the new supply now has enough of it, he will also say, I'm tired of it. He retracts his supply from them. Now they start to prepare him now to throw him outside of the house. And at the same time, they will be talking with you. Oh, how are you feeling? Who are you dating now? Have you seen somebody? Did you meet someone? Because they want to prepare the window so that when they are ready to get you, they can quickly jump and get you whenever they want to do, whenever they're ready. So they try to play that kind of game. They bring somebody in, they throw you out. That person also, he realizes maybe they are bad people, they are not good for a relationship or this. The person wants to go. So they also do the same thing what they did to you. They throw them out and then they bring you back in. Because remember, they have not given you closure. In most cases, what makes people stuck in this kind of relationships, because most of the people, when they are discarded, they do not get closure. They are not able to even to understand exactly where did this whole thing come from. How did the guy discard me? Where did this whole thing begin? So they are not able to put things in their head together. And that's what makes them always trying to sneak on their partners. The new supply, how are they doing? What are they eating? How are they managing? So sometimes they are taking those people to the same cafe where I used to go. They are taking them to the same restaurant where I used to sit. They are going to the same trips where you guys used to go. So they will make you to feel that pain forever, and always the person you will be yearning to meet them again, because you say that, oh, maybe he was a good guy, maybe I was the one who was bad, I was the one who was not right for them, I was the one who was doing the wrong things. But this is all a game. It's a manipulation game to make you feel like everything was your fault. The reason why you guys left your relationship, they throw you out of your relationship, it was everything your fault. So you are the cause. So always, because you will have that kind of guilty conscience in you, you will always want to come back and try this relationship again. But before that, they will be monitoring you from the side, sending you messages, checking on you. How are you doing? What are you doing? This and this. Who are you seeing? And this and that. And then at the same time, they will be with this new supply. So when this new supply, now they realize who they are, what kind of people they are, they will also want to jump out the same thing, what you did also when you were with them. So when those people, they notice that now this new supply, he has noticed who I am and he wants to go, now they will start to plan to take you back in this relationship, in something what they call a hoover. You know what I mean? They will start to try to hoover you back in this relationship. And in most cases, that's why you see a lot of people around the world, they have been stuck in this kind of abusive relationships, because this is a psychological manipulation. This is a game. This is a game. They do this game. Most of them, they have done this game all their life, and they know all these things, how they work and how they play with people's mind, how they manipulate somebody's brain. So they have done these things for very, very long periods of time, and they will completely keep on doing this thing until the last day of their life. It is a cycle. They cannot do nothing about it, and they cannot even help themselves. So they just have to keep on playing with people like that. So that's why I wanted to bring in this situation of the triangulation, just to explain to you what is the triangulation and exactly how does the triangulation work, and what happens exactly after the triangulation. So then I've told you that after the triangulation, a person is being discarded. A person, when is discarded, the new supply comes into the relationship. So the cycle of abuse keeps on going and going and going and going, and that is why you see most of the time when you stay with these people for a very long period of time, you are going to notice yourself getting sicknesses. You are going to notice yourself getting sicknesses. You are going to start getting migraines, because they are torturing your brain every day on a daily basis. Your immune system is going to fall out, because remember, you stop to think, so your body stops to coordinate very well. A lot of things in your body are going to stop coordinating. You're going to find yourself with health issues. Sometimes you're having those things, you can end up, having all these kind of skin problems, because your body stops to respond properly with the cycle. So your body stops to respond, because when you're being abused, something inside you manipulates your system, you know what I mean, and most of your body starts shutting down, you know what I mean. So you can get a lot of problems. You can get migraines, you can get skin problems, you can get sometimes people have got internal body organs failure. Some organs have stopped working, kidney failures and all these kind of things. So it is a game, and guys, I need to understand that abuse is real. The reason why I decided to come out and start to speak about this is just to give light to this issue, and just to help people out there. My vision for 2020 has always been very strict and very real, setting empaths free. So empaths, anyhow, if anybody's listening to me out there, and you're an empath in this category, you're the one who's being abused, and sometimes you don't know these kind of things, how they're working, sometimes you don't know the whole system, how it works, one way or the other, you're going to be set free. So guys, I don't want to usually make these kind of videos very long. I just want to put that point, just let it there, just let it stand there for now. It has been a really big pleasure. It has been a blessing to have you on board. And my name's Denzomos. I'm Denzomos I go on YouTube by the names of Denzomos. I always post a lot of videos there. For those of you who have not yet subscribed, you can always go to my page and subscribe. And stay blessed as you do that. And also on Facebook, I can be found as Denzomos Unscripted. So, I mean, every now and then I'm going to be coming up talking about, we're going to be sharing different subjects together. And in case you have any question, you want to ask me something, I'm going to drop my number in the page, in the description below. So you're going to always, get back to me, ask me one or two things. We're going to share. We're always going to. I'm out there to help people. So you know what I mean. So in case you're in this kind of situation, in case you're in some kind of manipulative, abusive situation, I may be out there to help you, because there's a lot I may know that you don't know about. You know what I mean. So guys, it's been a really good blessing. It's been a blessing to have you on board. Stay blessed, each and everyone. I love you all, and see you in my next video. Peace.